Yo, what is going on, team? This is Art. I just wanted to go over really quick how I was able to kind of predict this huge market sell-off that we've been having recently using one very simple stock pattern that happens quite often. So I just want to go over this really quickly and kind of give in some insight on what I'm looking for when it comes to a trade, when it comes to these small patterns that show up throughout the day. So let's get into this. So this is a daily chart versus 1 year for the NASDAQ. This is QQQ. It's currently sitting at about 309. We had a huge sell-off yesterday, March 5th, 2021, where we saw this thing dip down to 297 from our top at 338. So really quick, I just wanted to go over this and kind of give you guys an idea of what I was looking for when it came to this market kind of topping out for a little bit. And so I just wanted to show you this really quick pattern. This is an H pattern. You got your leg and your semicircle to make an H. You want to have a bottom, you want to have a break of a double bottom on both sides of the H, and that is what we saw right here. So what I noticed when we saw the market kind of selling off a little bit was that we started falling below all of our moving averages. So I used the 9, 20, 50, and 200-day moving averages, and what I had saw was that we fell below the 20-day moving average and the 50-day moving average, and we kind of started to see resistance levels at these kinds of little clusters that we had, these simple moving average clusters. And I noticed that we had an H pattern forming. So we have our leg, our semicircle, and once we got to this double bottom, once we broke lower, that was my sign that we were just going to continue to head lower, and I continued to take short positions. So as soon as I started to see resistance here at this 50 SMA area, I did end up taking huge put positions to the downside, and that's how I ended up doing pretty well. The month of February and month of March have been some of my best months that I've had in a little while, with yesterday, March 5th, being $15,000 alone for that day. And that was trading Facebook, Tesla, NASDAQ, and the Russell 2000. So overall, just a very simple pattern that you can look for is the H. Here's your leg, here's your semicircle, and once you get to that little double bottom, if it breaks lower, that's where you're going to be entering for more of a put entry. Or if you see, say, a 50-day moving average, a 200-day moving average, or a 20-day moving average, that would be your entry as you see a rejection happen right here. And you kind of round out to the lower end of this H. So this also works on shorter time frames. I personally don't really use it on, say, 5-minute charts, although it does kind of work. I personally use it on more so like long time frames such as hourly or 4-hour charts. So let me remove my custom indicator here so you guys can kind of see what I'm saying here. So that said, here we go. I apologize for the background noise, by the way. But we have this H pattern kind of forming here. And this is shown on this 4-hour chart. Here is our leg. Here is our H. Once we got to the double bottom, we went even lower by about 10 points or so. And then we kind of recovered a little bit. Here's our leg. Here's our semicircle. We rejected 200-day moving average, and we headed even lower. And when you even zoom in a little more, let's say an hourly chart, we go into it and we see leg, semicircle, double bottom break, head even lower. But this is in after hours, so obviously, take that with a grain of salt. But overall, that's something that you're going to be looking for. So here's my trade that I took on Tesla, and this is what made me about $3,000 on one trade alone. I noticed this massive H forming. So overall, the Tesla's been getting kind of beat up, but we have this huge H. We are making lower lows as we see that Tesla's rejecting the moving averages over and over and over. So once we started seeing this thing slide heavy going into the week, I noticed that we had an H pattern kind of forming the day before. So you can see this one very visually, very easily. Here's your leg, here's your semicircle. And so going into the market into Friday, I already had known that I was going to be taking a put position because of this H pattern. We had our double bottom, and as soon as we broke below this 605 mark, I started throwing money into put options very quickly. I personally take 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out, or 4 weeks out in the money options because that is protecting me from the downside of this thing potentially not going my way immediately. And so once it fell below 605 with the support level at 600, I was very confident that we would continue to head down. And from there, I ended up making a pretty decent sum of money. On top of that, even if you look at this in terms of a 5-minute chart, notice here's our leg, semicircle, and upon the double bottom break, we head even lower. Just something to keep in mind when it comes to taking these positions. You can use them in shorter time frames. They are just a little more iffy, to say the least. And that's pretty much it for this video. Overall, it's a very simple pattern to recognize. It's one of the more common ones. I would put it where bear flag and bull flag are, and overall, I would say that it comes to fruition pretty often. I wouldn't obviously bet all my dollars into one play based off of an H pattern, but it is definitely something you can keep in mind when it comes to taking a trade, because it is a simple spell but quite unbreakable. So that said, like here's Facebook, for example. Here's our leg, here's our semicircle. As soon as we broke the double bottom, we ripped even lower. And very, obviously hindsight is 2020, but we do have our H pattern and they're very easy to recognize. And I hope that it's something that you can use in your daily trading routine, because they are very oftenly seen throughout the day. That's going to wrap up this video. I do have a link in the description for my room if you'd like to come check out other free educational material. I live stream my trades every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday if you'd like to come and tune in and watch that. That said, that's going to wrap up this video. If you have any questions, feel free to drop comments into the comment box. I'll try to get to those as quick as I can. If not, feel free to DM me on Discord or on Instagram. I have the links in the description for that as well. And overall, I hope that this is something useful to you. I will try to be uploading very often on this channel, because I find that the information that's out there sometimes is a little confusing, and oftentimes you don't really get to see it in terms of how it's used in the market itself. And I feel like if I can bring that value to you, it would be very fulfilling to me. So that said, I will catch you guys tomorrow for a Sunday stock talk, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.